Niner Empire, welcome to the Fresh Perspective Podcast. Now here's your host, Jerry Phresh.
Hey, what's up, Niner Empire? It's your boy, Jerry Phresh, with yet another fresh perspective. I want to get right back on here for another day to talk to you about the 49ers. And I know we haven't played. We watched games that, you know what, I was surprised yesterday at some of the games. I believe the Packers lost. You know, that was a team that a lot of people put us, underneath the Packers, that said they were better than us. And then for the Chargers to step up and actually beat the Packers, it was huge, especially the way that they did it. It is a reflection of the things that we'll need to do in order to stop Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And guess what? We almost have on that line the exact personnel, but better, because a lot of people believe, though Joey Bosa's older and has more experience in the NFL, Nick Bosa has the higher ceiling, and he's twitchy. He can do a lot more. And then you have your debate between Ingram and Dee Ford. And Ingram probably has more power. He's more compact than Dee Ford. Dee Ford's a lot more lean and linky, but he's quicker and faster off that edge. And when he gets going, he was one of the unsung heroes of the game against the Cardinals. Dee Ford came across very explosive, and he was giving Kyler Murray nightmares. I also think they need to adjust the rule about horse collar tackles. That was a sack to me. If you've seen it, Kyler Murray, back in the day, I think T.O. was a receiver when the horse collar tackles started being called even more frequently. When he was on the Niners, if you remember, he was so powerful that the only thing the defender could do he was fast and powerful, they would grab his collar and they'll pull him down. And I think once or twice when they pulled him down, his foot got stuck. So imagine him running forward, they would grab the collar and pull him backwards, and his foot would get stuck and pinned in the ground, and it would mess his ankle up, whether it was broken, fractured, or whatnot. But sometimes with these replays and stuff like that, they can have a benefit to looking at some of these fouls and penalties that are called and determining if it really was egregious or if it really was something that needed to be called. And I understand that, Dee Ford got his hands up high around Kyler Murray's shoulder pads up there, but it was a harmless play and it should have been a sack. But anyways, I don't want to get into that game. I really want to talk about the 49ers and us enjoying the journey that we're on. Fresh perspective is exactly what it is. It's me giving you a fresh perspective on how I see things, making you think a little bit. And one thing that we have to do is we have to enjoy the things that are going on in this season, because this season is going to be a story you're going to tell your grandchildren about, and your children and your children's children. And if you just rush through it, then you miss out on a part of history. The Niners are competing at such a high level after going 4-12. They are so impressive. And for us to want to get to the destination, let's call the Super Bowl the final destination, and winning it, that's the final destination. We want to get there so bad that we overlook the journey and what's going on. Fam, we are 8-0. We struggled through so much with the 49ers, the ups and downs, injuries in the past. And at this very moment, let this sink in for you. At this very moment, our beloved red and gold 49ers are 8-0. There's been so many stories that we've heard our grandparents tell about Jerry Rice, and all the way back, Roger Craig, you're going way back. We hear so many stories. I wasn't around for those, and I wasn't aware of football half the time when the 49ers were just great and they were just so prestigious. But to be a part of something special, I don't want to miss it. And I don't want to be that old man one day that's like back in my day and not really have the actual experience, because I just wanted to get to the Super Bowl and I didn't enjoy this. And so while we all remain humble in our endeavors, we still have to enjoy the fact that our team is accomplishing something that is greatness. Yes, it'll all be for naught, you say, if we don't win a Super Bowl. But at the same time, if we do and we don't enjoy this is such a great experience. It's like a dream. It is like a dream come true to be a part of this. And we have to get in the mindset to look at what our team is doing. What's going on? It's like those parents who, and nothing against parents who truly invest in their children and want them to be great. But I have heard, I have seen that when you have pushed and have done things to get your children prepared, that sometimes there's a tendency not to truly focus on the well-being and the mindset in the moment of that child and to see the greatness of that child in that moment, because you're trying to, maybe it's a pageant, maybe it's you want that child to one day be in the NFL or to be in the NBA or whatever, the Olympics, whatever it may be. But the relationship that you build, the way to that competition, you stopped and you got that kid ice cream or whatever it may be. Those are the things that that kid is going to remember as an adult beyond, I just won a trophy. It's the times, the off-schedule times that you spent, and it's that you were always there. And so with the 49ers, I want to tie that back together. With the 49ers, we have something special going on. And in this moment, we all are experiencing some greatness together. And we need to enjoy and be excited about that. All this bickering and fighting and trying to correct people when they're too excited. Now, I don't condone going out and being vulgar, getting in other people's faces of even other teams, disrespecting people. I don't condone any of that. But our ability to look at this moment, to see greatness and to accept that and enjoy this ride. Yes, we will get somewhere, and I pray it is the Super Bowl. You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast, and I'm your host, Jerry Phresh. We have the opportunity to be a part of something great, and I just don't want to pass that by. I don't want to pass that by. I don't want to look at this and look back and say, man, why didn't I just enjoy that? And there's so many things in life that we do that with. Let's talk about that game last night against the Ravens and the Patriots. Man, it was something in the air last night. Listen, there was something in the air when they played, because I think I started seeing posts on different social media platforms. People were like, I think the Ravens are going to beat the Patriots. And I felt the same way, but I wasn't bold enough to post that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to post this and be wrong. I mean, would it have mattered? You know, you guys, you don't care if I post something about the Patriots losing. You guys probably would have liked it anyway. But it changed my focus, because it was like, oh man, the Patriots defense and all this kind of stuff. But then a team like, we played the Cardinals with the athletic quarterback in Kyler Murray. Boy, I tell you what, that Lamar Jackson, the boy is off the hook. Dope, fresh, whatever you want to say. Pull it from the 90s, I don't care. The boy is off the hook, off the chain, whatever you want to say. He is dynamic. And what I like about him compared to quarterbacks that have been athletic in the past is that Lamar is looking to pass the ball. And it's almost like he, coaching wise, whether it's Greg Roman, whether it's Harbaugh, they set you up with the fact that they have designed runs with him. And so you never really know what's going to happen. And then as soon as you cheat up and try to get him, he can actually throw a decent ball, and he's getting better. What is he, 22, 23? You know, when you have a quarterback like that, like I know we have Tom Brady, I know we have Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. These quarterbacks have been the top echelon of quarterbacks for so long now. And it's quarterbacks that are cerebral enough to stand back, and they're mobile inside the pocket. Meaning, you know, you have to be able to manipulate. Remember on Madden, they used to have that little, I forget what the last Madden that they had, but the tennis balls, where they would start coming at you, it was like a practice little game you played, and you had to move out of the way. But you had to stay in that ring, the pocket. And you had to manipulate inside the pocket. And Tom Brady is one of the best at it. He is not on the outside of the pocket. Don't let Tom Brady run, because he's gonna not go anywhere. But inside the pocket, you can see him. He'll shrug his shoulders and manipulate and everything like that. That was what everybody was looking for. And it's still highly prized. You want that type of quarterback if you can find it. But the way that college has been and where it's going and where the NFL is going, from a young age, quarterbacks aren't being taught to be that way anymore. They're expanding it because, like a Pat Mahomes, if you can extend the pocket laterally, if you can move, before there was just a circle that was not that big that you had to stay inside and you had to manipulate there. But now you see a Pat Mahomes, he can manipulate the pocket, extend it. Brett Favre had that ability, but these days you have players, they're so athletic, and their ability to manipulate the pocket is causing people's eyes to be open. And so you see a Lamar Jackson who is ultra athletic. On any given Sunday, this man is probably the most athletic person, the athlete on the field in the NFL, the fastest. While he may not have the throwing strength and that ability that a Pat Mahomes may have, his ability to throw the ball off platform, to run it, when you combine a quarterback with his skill set, the Michael Vick speed, but the ability to throw the ball like a Pat Mahomes, that is one of the scariest things that we have ever seen in football. It is going to be, I don't want to jump ahead to any games, but what I'm saying is if we can contain him, that is going to be a great test for our defense, and it would be awesome. And I believe we can do it. I believe we have the discipline and the know-how to do that, and I believe we'll be very well prepared. You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with your boy Jerry Phresh. Thank you so much as always for being here with me. Man, I love the NFL and the direction that it's going. I always thought that. You ever watch college football back in the day, and it's just, man, people are dressed up. People are wearing costumes. You got mascots. It's just a fun atmosphere. And you're like, man, even with the NCAA games they used to make back in the day, it's like these games are just so much fun. And you're like, man, I would love to see these fast, quick quarterbacks and this style of offense make it, because it's all entertaining. But the NFL has been that way for so long. And so, like with everything, when it's traditions in place, it's very hard to change. And then you have people who come in and they begin to do different stuff, and you get those Chip Kellys who are, hey, maybe this can work. And for the most part, initially, you're like, okay, Chip Kelly might be able to do this thing. And I don't want to stay on Chip Kelly for too long. I'm talking about when he was with the Eagles. But you see that things are evolving. And it's not just a closed-minded attitude about what the NFL looks like. And that can be taken all different directions. But it's something that it's awesome to see it opening up, because you're like, wow, we would have Sean McVays and people like that can call these types of games that are just out of this world if you're not allowing change to happen. And I love that the NFL is expanding. And I love it the most because there were 2 undefeated teams last night. And now there's only one, because the offense that nobody thought would work, the quarterback that nobody thought could succeed, that athletic quarterback was able to go out there and go against, they claimed, the number 1 defense and shred them. And if it wasn't for a momentum change when old boy fumbled the ball, the kickoff, the kick return, whatever, I believe they would have probably just totally blew out the Patriots. Yeah, we can get into momentum. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it is huge. Momentum switches so fast in these games. And as long as you can keep your penalties down and not make momentum changing plays like that, you usually can do very good. You can do very well, as you've seen when the 49ers destroyed the Panthers. You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with your boy Jerry Phresh. So I love seeing that. And now you have the Patriots who are defeated. I mean, they lost a game. Now here's the thing though. The more games you win, I feel like although I enjoyed seeing the Patriots lose, I kind of, not that I was jealous, but I looked at them with a little bit of envy in the way of, wow, the pressure to win every game. Because there's people who are always waiting for you to fall. It doesn't matter how much you succeed. It doesn't matter how well you do in life. They are waiting for you to fall. You could be doing awesome. But one mistake, and it's like, oh man, I knew it. You suck. And that's how that's how people will look at us, the Patriots, because that's just the nature of people. We'll know that we don't suck if we lose. But people get ready for that. They're waiting they don't care. You're wasting your breath when you're trying to argue with people. You lose a game and you're like, but what about, listen, and you're putting out stats. They don't care about that. They're mad because their team is not as good as yours, and they want you to feel pain like they've been feeling pain. So the minute you lose, they're going to be all on you. So get ready for that. You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with your boy, Jerry Phresh. The 49ers are a team that nobody picked. Analysts, nobody picked to be good. We were the only one, Niner Empire, we were the only one that believed in this empire, and nobody else did. And that is the reason why they want us to lose, because they're like, you know what? We didn't design this. They weren't our favorites. We picked the Browns, and we thought the Steelers were going to be good, and we thought the Bengals were going to be okay. It's funny how they thought. They don't want to give us any credit for being good. But they were the ones that predicted the teams that they call easy right now. They were the ones that didn't see that those teams was going to be trash. They thought that we weren't going to be undefeated and that those teams would be better. And nobody's talking about the fact that they were wrong in how they thought, and that they didn't know that the 49ers were going to be kicking some butt. And now that we are on top and undefeated, they hate it. I said it before. These analysts, these haters, grew up in a time where the 49ers were exposing and terrorizing other teams. Their teams like the Raiders. They hate the 49ers, and every chance they get, they want to say we're not good. And then when something starts happening and we start moving, they're hating on us because they're like, we didn't pick up. They weren't our team. So I need you to be ready for that, because that's how it works. Now let's talk about the game coming up against Seattle. So I was a little bit I was upset with the Buccaneers because Jameis Winston actually played a way better game than I've seen him play all season. Jameis Winston has it in him to be a good quarterback. Why he has these lapses and decides that he just wants to not be good, I don't know. But you could see, like, wow, okay, Jameis, you're doing good. He was poised. He played okay. That doesn't mean that he didn't make mistakes. It's just that he played a lot better than he did before. And he played in Seattle. And that's a harsh play. I don't care if their defense is not as good. It's still hard to go out on the road. And Seattle is still ranked at the top, a top 5 place that in difficulty to go there and win. So watching them score and do everything, I just wanted them to keep going. But you've seen that this is why Seattle is a good team and that we're going to have to watch out. They've done this before. I think it was the Rams game. They'll stay with you to the end. They are trained well. They have longevity within a game to go all the way to the end. You can see that the Buccaneers were winded and they were ready to get off the field. And when you're looking for relief because you're exhausted, you stop caring about how you get off the field. Most teams are like, I want to get off the field by winning. But when you are exhausted and that's the only thing on your mind, you're like, just give me water and get me out of here. I don't care if we fumble, if we throw an interception, if we don't win, get me out of here. And that was the look on the Buccaneers' face. Listen to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with your boy Jerry Phresh. Like I said, I let these go ahead and ride through. I don't edit what I say. I just go ahead and say it and let it roll out. I am planning on starting to do live shows. I know a lot of people have been asking me, when are you going to go live? That way I can interact directly with you in the chat. And that's going to be very soon. I'm getting everything set up. I got NFL Network playing on the back. They were just showing Dak Prescott and some players from the Giants. I love football. I love football. There's no sport that for me that just you have to be a team. There's so many different moving parts and stuff like that, and that's why I admire coaches who strategically put players and individual players in a position to win by unifying them. When you have so many different types of pieces and you're able to put them together and get victories and really show, it's just awesome. Football is such a great sport, and that's why it's a difficult sport too. And that's why when you have a team that is 8-0, you never say it was because they had an easy schedule. I don't care if we played the Bengals every single week and we won 8 times. That is impressive. So don't let anybody tell you that your team isn't good because, you didn't have. This is the NFL. One week you're the Packers and you're on top of the world. The next week, the Chargers walk in at 3-5 and beat you, and really beat you, because there's grown men out there and it's the best of the best, and sometimes it happens like that. So nobody's going to take away the fact that the 49ers continue to win. And I believe we're going to win against the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson is a cerebral quarterback, and you can say, he's up there for an MVP. Yeah, I can see it. I'm not going to hate. I don't like him. I don't like the Seahawks, but I do. I'm not blind. He's a good guy. He's a good player. And while it's annoying that he's on another team that I hate, I'm not going to lie and say that he's bad just because it's a rivalry team, the Seahawks. Russell Wilson will tear you up if you can't get to him. And as he showed yesterday, although he's getting older, when the game counts and you're not paying attention, he will run on you, and he still is pretty quick. And so we're going to have to be well aware of that. We are going to have to get inside of Russell Wilson's head. One thing that I love the fact that Buckner and Armstead, more of Armstead is getting in the backfield because they line him up so many different places. I love Blair out there and all these players that we mix in. I need the interior of our defensive line to, I'm sorry, but we got to get up and we got to go at it. We have a lot of gashes and stuff, and you guys can, in the comments or whatever, you guys say, well, this is the reason why this is happening, but there's a lot of times where our edges look pretty good. We don't have a lot of runs where guys are breaking contain and getting out and exposing us, but straight up the middle, because, we're spread very wide. Buckner, he's still playing at a high level, and I'm not going to ever say that he is not a great player. But even if you asked him right now, you said, hey, DeForest, are you playing to the best of your ability? He probably would say no, and I can play better. And so the cool thing about being undefeated right now and how we're going is that whatever adversity we have faced, whether it be an injury to a key player or whether it be that our defense has gotten exposed, we are 8-0. That means that we are learning on the fly. That is awesome. That means that we're going to continue to get better, and I believe that we're going to show. I believe in Armstead and Buckner. I believe in those interior players, and I believe they're going to get up and they're going to play this game. We're not going to be getting gashed by Carson and all these players off the Seahawks. I think we're going to step up. And like I said in the last podcast, just like those Warriors who got up for the big games and kind of played a little bit, like you can't do that in the NFL. We don't got 82 games. Could you imagine 82 games in the NFL? They would have to shut the NFL down. Death on the field, right? It's too much. But when you have only 16 games and they mean so much, you have to learn on the fly. And the fact that you know that every other team is trying to win their games, that is why you can't say that any schedule is easy. But I love the 49ers that they know how to win. That is the most important thing. You know how to win. I know how to win. But you didn't play this, I know how to win. But the competition, I know how to win. I know how to win. You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with your host, Jerry Phresh. When you know how to win, baby, when you know how to win, who's hating on Jimmy G? Who's hating on Jimmy G for saying baby at the end of that comment when Aaron Andrews asked him something? What did she say? She said, how does it feel for you to get this win? And he says, feels good, baby. I hope nobody said nothing about that. I mean, somebody did, because there's always somebody looking for something, but it does feel good, baby. We out there winning. Why can't you be excited about winning? You got a man who was raised right. This man was raised right, and he carries himself so well. Stop trying to exploit that man, and he's doing the right thing out there. He ain't out there selling drugs. He's not hurting women and children. She said, how does it feel to win? He said, feels good, baby. That's what I'm talking about. It's funny out there for what you can get in trouble for. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. I just want to get to the fact that the 49ers are 8-0, and I'm going to pull it all back together. We need to be excited about that fact. We need to stop trying to prove to everybody else in the empire that we are the most faithful fan. Put the pride down and enjoy this with everybody else. You are disturbing people with your criticism and negativity every 5 seconds, because you want to, and it's all because you want to prove to everybody else that you have been the most loyal. And I've run into people like that before who are like, you weren't here and you weren't here. Stop it. Stop it. Now, the memes are funny when you see the split screen and the top half says, if you weren't here for this, and it's like, you know, the days of Alex Smith when he was still in his cocoon and didn't want to do anything. And then it shows at the bottom half of the screen, the 8-0 49ers. And it says, then don't be here for this. Basically, if you weren't here for the tough times, don't be here for this. And those are funny, but in reality, stop it. You know what? Let people come on. Like I always say, the more fans we have, and if they leave, they leave. You're secure in yourself. If you were loyal, know it in yourself. Your little group that you have, that you hang out with, if they know it and you know it, you're good. Stop trying to talk to the whole empire, because what happens is you're spreading negativity, and your negativity is worse than a bandwagon fan. I'd rather have people who are just like, hey, I want to be, than hear you constantly saying negative things. Yes, we haven't won the Super Bowl yet. But if you go with the mentality that you can never celebrate until you win a Super Bowl, you may never do you know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl? You ain't never going to celebrate in your life. You got to understand where you got to find your joy at on this journey. And you have to take those chances and don't ruin it for everybody else. Get excited. Get excited. Get excited. Niner Empire, once again, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting. Thank you so much for all the time you spend on these videos. I want to continue to we're trying to get to 2,000, and I want to get more and more people in here. Not because I just want to have a whole bunch of subscribers, but I truly have heard from you guys that these podcasts, sitting here, I don't know why, talking to me, getting my perspective, you like it. Some of you guys love it. And let's share that with everybody. This joy that I have for this empire, the 49ers, I want it to spread like a wildfire and just continue to just be something that everybody's excited about. So share it. Don't be stingy. Share it with other people. Share it on Facebook and all your other social media platforms. Thank you once again for all you do. Let's believe in our Niners. Let's get another victory on Monday Night Football next week. And let's do this thing. Thank you.
You have been listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast. Until next time, go Niners.